Hey guys, episode 54 of the stock series. A bit of a whack this week, down about $4 grand, partly in the gold and silver, and partly the Chinese tech sell-off, and sort of had a bit of a rumble in some of the other stocks as well. But yeah, so the silver miners starting to sort of show a bit of red since I bought them there. Some of the more speculative stuff, like Fortuna at the bottom there, down 10% now. And the Metalla, sort of the low cap streaming and royalty company, sort of taking a bit of a whack. Obviously, wheat and precious metals is the sort of much more established version of that. Only down 2% overall. And then, yeah, sort of Pan American and Fresnillo, sort of more established miners, just down a little bit. So this isn't the week's performance. This is sort of obviously my total performance for the last month. But yeah, so these are all down about 1,000 in the last week. But yeah, be interesting to see sort of what happens to these shortly. Seeing a lot of talk of maybe inflation not being as bad as everyone thought, but I'm still fairly bearish. But yeah, so the ISA, Trading212 ISA is sort of pretty much flat, down a couple £100. The ARC sort of dropped off a little bit again. Yeah, so not too much happening with that though. The REITs have been really holding up well, to be honest. It's what's holding up part of my portfolio, so I can come back to the some of the other Chinese stuff. But yeah, Alibaba sort of down 5%, was lower sort of during the week, went just under 200. But yeah, seems to be sort of China cracking down on the tech firms, sort of dominance. They're not very happy with some of them listing in America, it seems. Guess they not sure whether they want the foreign investment or just not happy with the sort of security of it. Maybe wanting to sort of keep themselves to themselves a little bit more. But yeah, they've been sort of going after individual companies and then sort of going after sort of more wider regulation, it seems. So they've all taken a bit of a hit. Yeah, things like sort of American Tower up 2%. Yeah, Argo blockchain obviously taking a bit of a hit still with the Bitcoin drops, but fine with that. Bitcoin ETP is pretty much flat. Interesting that Argo has gone down more even with the adjustment to difficulty, so they should be more profitable now. Expect we'll see sort of reasonable rise over the next month or two. Sentiment down 1%, not too bad. Yeah, Digital Realty like 3.6%. So yeah, it sort of dropped a bit in the last month, but yeah, it's coming back now, and does make me sort of still wonder about inflation. First Majestic's taking a bit of a whack with silver. It's not gone down that much, silver. Was surprised to see this sort of go down a little bit more. Yeah, that's mostly smaller stuff. Polymetal sort of down 1%. Yeah, primary health properties up 2.7%, realty up 2%. It's sort of fairly broad across the REITs. Stag, yeah, 3.4%, one of the higher ones. I do like these REITs. Obviously difficult to get all that much more money into them until we get a reasonable rise in the metals or Bitcoin, and I could move that out. Sylvania flat for the week. Yeah, seen a hell of a drop off in rhodium prices, so I expect that's what's sort of contributed to this drop. Did sort of get up to £1.35, I think it was. Yeah, nearly. So yeah, it's not too bad though. The little sort of smaller REITs that pay higher yields, not risen quite as much. They're smaller cap, so fine with that. The Tritaxes have actually had the best week of the REITs. So 4% on big box and 4.3% on Eurobox. So very happy with those. Yeah, that's what's sort of keeping the ISA in it at the moment. And over to the invest account. This has sort of taken a bit of a knock, so about 1,500 quid down. Not too bad. Did go lower, went to 146, so that was 4 grand nearly. It's recovered a little bit on Friday. Nothing too much to worry about though. Most of the sort of bigger US stuff's just sort of up and down about 1% or so. Nothing too much to look at there. So Baidu was one of the big ones of the Chinese sell-off, down 7.78% for the week. Did go lower, as you can see, sort of in the 175 range. So that was a hell of a knock. Still think it looks good value from here. I know they're getting competition on their search engine in China, but they've got other stuff in the pipeline, sort of AI and cloud business and potential in the sort of EV self-driving car space. So it's a long-term hold for me, quite a small cap. So gets sort of put in the same league. People sort of talk about Tencent, Alibaba and Baidu, but Baidu are sort of 1/10 of the market cap of the other two. So yeah, quite happy with them for the sort of medium term at least. Nothing too much with these others. Broadcom had a little bit of a nice week, up to sort of 480, but never seems to stay there all that long. BT down a bit, sort of off its £2 high. Still fairly happy with that though. eBay, yeah, as I say, a lot of these sort of big US stuff, just up or down 1% or 2. Glencore had a reasonable drop and has then recovered, up 1.4% on the week. Intel and International Paper, as I say, just up and down 1% or 2. The emerging markets ETF dropped with the China sell-off, unsurprisingly. Bloody water ETF just keeps sort of steadily going up. As you can see, sort of doesn't matter what time frame you look at, it's just steadily going up. So that was sort of where I bought. But yeah, does seem to be a good one. Ride out the volatility at least. Kia Group up a couple of percent. This is pretty much at sort of the highs of the last couple of months. So that's looking pretty good. 133% up. Yeah, some of these others, a lot of them sort of took a dip midweek, but have recovered. Lunar's down a little bit overall. Lockheed sort of fairly flat. Micron down a little bit. Nintendo sort of down a little bit. They've released their sort of announcement of the new Switch. It's not really a new Switch, it's kind of a minor sort of upgrade, just a new screen, not a more powerful chip. I think this is sort of reading a lot of articles saying this is down to the chip shortage. They sort of were planning a more powerful sort of 4K capable chip, but they've been unable to get it. So I don't know if they're going to sort of do it later on and have another new Switch next year, or whether they're just going to, I mean, if they're just going to stick with what they got now and the new OLED screen, then not sure how that'll favour against PS5 and Xbox sort of Series X and S. But yeah, we'll see what they do. Still selling a hell of a lot of the current one, I guess, so not bad. Porsche took a hell of a drop during the week, but has ended up. Process obviously taking a big whack with the corresponding 10-cent drop. Still fairly happy on that though. Renault took a bit of a hit. Did go lower, but yeah, still they're sort of struggling in the car market at the moment. Still sort of not 100% on their move to electric, but see where they go. Rio sort of up a little bit on the week. Did have a drop midweek. Shell still performing well. Oil sort of come off a little, but still pretty much at sort of 2-3 year highs. So that's good. Bought a little bit more of Sega. Don't know if you noticed sort of the shares creeping up on this. Just when I get sort of £50 say in dividends, then I've been putting it into Sega. Quite like the company. Yeah, not too much else going on with these others. Stellantis, yeah, pretty much flat, but had a drop. Taylor Wimpey had a drop, but has come back. Yeah, not much happening with any of these. Video games ETF dropped quite a bit. I did think these were a little bit overpriced anyway, but yeah, not huge move, just below my sell price now, which is fine, because I would like to eventually bump this up. Verizon hasn't moved. Beatrice down a little bit. Again, not too bothered about them. They're still look pretty good value at this price. And yeah, Volkswagen hasn't done a lot. So yeah, you can see sort of obviously quite balanced in terms of sort of different companies and different countries. So that's why it doesn't sort of move tremendously. But yeah, we'll see what happens over the next sort of few months. Be interesting. Hopefully up this again with more Bitcoin sales later in the year. I can go heavier into some of these that are down. So leave your thoughts in comments below, and like and subscribe. See you soon.